The moment our fellow geeks, dweebs, nerds, and other unfortunates have been fervently waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for TMI, Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerf Herder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker. And now, let's get on with the show. Here is TMI.
Is it Thanksgiving already?
Yeah, I hear a turkey. Yes. Let's break out the stuffing and cranberry sauce.
This should also become an annual tradition here at TMI. This is our halfway to Thanksgiving Monster Marathon. We can no longer wait a whole year in between these episodes. We've got to scratch that itch and record one right in the middle. So yeah, we are at the halfway point, but that doesn't mean we still can't talk about monsters. So here we go. We are just fresh off of our Monarch Season 2 episode.
Yeah, it was a nice primer.
Yeah. And
it's all locked and loaded for these.
What better time to talk about the beginning of the Monsterverse as we know it?
Which wasn't that long ago, and yet at the same time, it's like 12 years ago.
I know all this story has evolved since then. And so it was very interesting to go back and see just how much was built in here and how much just kind of got added after the fact.
Yeah, I have questions. Always. Because you're right, the Monsterverse, we just covered season 2.
Yeah.
So that they just last year, right? They did a pretty good job of turning around the seasons.
Yeah,
I think you're more worried about keeping Kurt Russell around. It's like, we better get another season in the can.
We gotta, That's priority one right there.
Can I just say how this man just gets sexier the older he gets? That lush white hair, like he's just going with it.
I know, it's like a mane at this point.
Yeah, exactly. he's his own titan at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a sexy titan. What are we talking about?
For those that don't know what the first two Monsterverse movies were, of course we have the one that started it off, the 2014 Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards.
Now this is Legendary. This is Legendary's Monsterverse.
It is Legendary's Monsterverse, yes.
The studio.
But they're very prolific, so I can see why Toho thought that this was in good hands. Because Toho is legendarily, shall we say, tight with the reins on Godzilla and the rights.
Yeah. Well, we know the last time they let it loose in 98. We see how that turned out.
But they made the right decision, I think, here.
I agree.
Yeah, we're covering the 2014 Godzilla, and then on the back end, we are covering Kong Skull Island.
Which came out 2019.
2017.
2017?
2017. 2019 was King of the Monsters.
Oh, gotcha. Which we have covered.
Yeah.
I did learn that there is a whole Monsterverse comic series. I didn't even realize.
I didn't know that either until
No. And now I'm like,
this.
now I kind of want to go read that.
And there was a Skull Island animated series on Netflix.
Is that where a bunch of little kids are running around?
I don't know. The characters look very stylized. It could have been adults. It could have been kids. I don't know. Gotcha. I just saw a picture.
I wonder if it falls in continuity.
It's got to. It's legendary, right? So I would imagine that
they don't have that many movies under their belt that they'd be like, oh, no, we're going to just branch out into our own thing.
But yeah, that's what we're covering today.
Okay,
so
cool.
That will bring us up to date with the Monsterverse until Supernova is released.
That's actually sad.
That we're not.
I want to keep talking monsters.
Well, I would imagine because not only Supernova, but we've got Monarch Season 3, and then we have that prequel series with Wyatt Russell. So there's going to be lots of monsters coming up. I don't know if Supernova will be the first that hits screens or if one of those shows will, but we'll see.
I think Supernova is already got a launch date of next year. I think it's like June of 27.
Yeah, it does.
Where the two TV shows, I mean, they just wrapped up season 2 of Monarch. So I can't imagine they're going to bang that out that quickly.
To be honest, the Billy character in Skull Island doesn't seem as world weary as he
No,
should be.
no, he's very John Goodman-esque,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing. But when you work so hard to create this backstory of this character, it's kind of hard to merge the two together.
Yeah. If this guy, really was in his youth discovering a new monster every month,
Yeah.
as they suggest in the show, it seems like he's kind of seeing this stuff for like, wow, it is true,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. No, he knew. Right. We see that with the Titan X going all the way back to the first season. And yeah,
Yeah.
here he's like, I got to prove these things are real. Well, you did in the TV show. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he fell into Axis Mundi and he lost his
Maybe he
brain.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's on
Maybe
the back end. First of all, we're
yeah,
talking about
correct.
Zilla. Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
to say Zilla. That's the 98
No, don't do
Godzilla.
that. Can I just bring up one news story? I know we don't normally do news stories during the Monsterverse, but because this is our inaugural Monster Mayhem episode in the middle of the year, I want to bring this up because it's all over my social media feed right now,
All right.
and I thought it was fun. So a couple weeks ago, I mentioned the fact that I had gone to Broadway to see legitimate theater of Bigfoot the Musical. And I really thought that that was the pinnacle. And yet, it has been announced on the Howard Stern show of all things. Did you even know Howard Stern was still a thing?
No, I did not.
Yeah, he is still apparently on Sirius XM. He records an episode from his home maybe once a week. Him and Robin, both in their 70s now.
Wow.
And they had my favorite man on the planet, Mr. Weird Al Yankovic himself, who announced that in production is a jukebox musical called Dare to Be Stupid that is going to feature Weird Al's songs. This is the first time I've actually heard it referred to as a jukebox musical. Does anybody even know what a jukebox is anymore?
They're still in diners, right? On every table, pretty much.
That is true.
I would think that it's like the biographical musical that just, plays the music of whatever the subject is, like the Billy Joel Moving Out, or what was the one, Frankie Valli in the Four
Oh,
Seasons?
yeah, Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, he played a bunch of his songs. He still sounds fantastic, by the way. Out there. But Dare to Be Stupid was one of his first original songs. I think it was on, maybe on the album Dare to Be Stupid, which is less than it's not a parody, but it is a Devo style montage of mishmash scenes. So it's like he's taking that genre of music that was big in the 80s and just kind of applying his own take on it. And he's done this. He's done this numerous albums or whatever. But I was very excited. I am already in line for tickets. Yes, I can see your enthusiasm.
Well, is it going to be Weird Al? It wouldn't be him, right? It's just probably going to be like an actor portraying him or what have you.
I don't even know if it's going to be autobiographical. They could just come up with a completely different story and just adhere these songs to it.
Because I don't know if I want to see some other guy in the fat suit singing.
I don't know if they're even going to do that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's just a fat character who breaks out into the song. Maybe they don't even do those cover songs. I don't know. He did a tour last year, which was all his original, the Vanity tour, and it was fantastic. I saw this and I'm like, we just need more Weird Al in our lives. And so I'm bringing this to the masses. Man just sold out Madison Square Garden last year.
Yeah. That kind of went by without
feat.
much fanfare.
In certain quarters, it received a lot of fanfare. So I'm excited. We'll see. Sounds fun. Keep him in the limelight. So, all right, let's go monsters. Monsterverse. This Godzilla 2014 came out of nowhere, really.
It does have its origins in my favorite Godzilla movie, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, or Godzilla versus Hedorah, as some might want to call it, as it's known today. Yoshimitsu Banno, who should be held in such high regard. in kaiju circles everywhere. The one-time director of Godzilla film, which was Hedorah.
One and done, huh?
One and done. He was fired or let go or what have you.
I was
They
going to
didn't
ask.
allow him to do another one after that.
Right.
Somehow, some way, in 2004, he secured rights from Toho to direct an IMAX 3D, like an hour-long feature, specifically for IMAX called Godzilla to the Max.
Oh, and when was this?
This was 2004. So this was in development for quite some time, but unfortunately, as we know, that never came to be.
I was going to say, I never heard of this.
It transitioned into what we know as Godzilla 2014, with Banno as one of the executive producers. So the 3D to the max turned into Godzilla 2014. It was just going to be a standalone story when it was 3D to the max, and it was going to be a remake of the Smog Monster movie.
Oh,
So I would have
wow.
loved to have seen that, but what we got was the start of the Monsterverse as we know it, which was, as we know, produced by Legendary.
Okay. I didn't realize there was that much backstory to this going.
Yeah,
This is why you're on the show.
this is why I'm on the show.
This is why it's your show. It's great.
So Gareth Edwards is the director here,
Yep.
who we know and love from Rogue One. He hadn't done Rogue One at that time.
No, I think he got that job because of this.
Yeah, but he had done a movie called Monsters, which is about
Yes.
giant monsters.
Yeah, they don't pop up very often, but yeah.
Well, it's a low budget, right? But he did handle that very well. So
Yeah, sure.
I
No,
was
that's a
very
great
happy
movie.
to
Yeah.
hear that this guy was doing a Godzilla movie. I was extremely happy and I was extremely excited. Now, if you remember back in 1998, when the first American Godzilla movie was released, there was so much hype around it.
Oh, the ad campaign alone was massive.
And this is the probably the biggest aspect of the hype around that movie was the actual appearance of that Godzilla, because that was secret. There
Yeah,
was,
sure.
and
Don't let
that was
anybody know.
advertised as being, we're not going to show you what this looks like until you go to see it in the movies.
Yeah,
I
which is
remember
smart marketing.
working in the Brentano's, Walden Books, whatever it was called at the time, in the mall. And we got in the box about a week before of the Godzilla movie tie-in magazine, and it said all over the box, do not put on shelves before
Ooh.
the opening day of
And
the,
how
of the
soon did you
movie.
pop that box open?
Oh,
to look
I
at the
popped
cover?
that open. That was,
And then you were like, "What the?
I was.
What the? This got to be a joke."
That was Godzilla in name only, in my opinion.
I agree with you. It should have never been called Godzilla. Just the giant lizard that attacked New York. It's a fun movie. Don't get me wrong. Roland Emmerich did his best. Emmerich did that. Yeah. It's fun, but I agree. I think most people who are listening agree.
Although there is an aspect of that movie that I really like. There is like a disaster movie feel in the fact that Godzilla is just running amok in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And the whole island is shut down because,
I don't know where he's big enough. He's not super big.
right.
He's not like this guy. This Godzilla 2014 is like the biggest version of this creature we've seen, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It seems like if you've ever looked at one of those Godzilla books, they often will have like a diagram of
Like how big
the
he's
evolution of
gotten over
Godzilla,
the
like
year,
how
yeah.
big he's gotten. And this is,
Yeah.
far and away the biggest version. And that raises the question, well, in reality, gravity this thing couldn't even move if it was that big. But
I didn't pull this fun fact, but I think they said if he was that big, he would probably urinate a lot. Just wherever he goes, giant piles of poo. We need to bring in Jeff Goldblum. That's a big pile.
this first Godzilla 2014 also brings in Monarch. So
Yes, yeah, right at the very beginning, we get this whole idea that there's this secret group, which if they're so secret, why are they running around with branded suitcases everywhere?
Yeah,
Like everything they have has got the logo on it. Oh, what's that? Oh, I
their
can't tell you.
helicopters have the logo on it.
Right? Not so secret.
Yeah.
Right.
But even though it doesn't always work, the retrofitting of the Monarch TV show into these older legendary movies, at least they do have that carry through, even in these opening credits, that
Yes.
the Bikini Atoll was not just simply a nuclear test. It was an attempt to kill something.
Yeah, and Bill Randa actually makes that claim at one point when he's in the senator's office. But we see that in season one of Monarch. Am
Yes,
I
we do.
right? Correct.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
So in stuff like that, that's where the fun stuff kind of ties together.
Yeah, and even the bomb that has the Ghostbusters
Yeah.
picture of Godzilla
Slash
with the line
Godzilla
through
on it,
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, did
But
they
these,
have that back then? That circle with the slash through it? I don't know.
you think Ghostbusters invented that?
Oh, they popularized it.
They did popularize it. But no, this is this opening credits is fantastic. The footage, the old World War II footage, where everything is redacted, and you're just getting these little snippets of news articles and whatnot. There is one screen that I actually had to pause on because it gives you all the statistics of Mr. Bill Randa himself. It was his ID card. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was in Skull Island. That's what we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's in Skull Island.
Okay.
I'm merging these two movies together already.
But I love just those quick visuals of the dorsal spines, like
Yes,
breaking
yeah.
the water.
Yeah, where you got the World War II aircraft and ships, and you just see the spine spinning. Yeah, no, it's enough to be like, that's the movie I want to see.
Yeah.
What the hell is this thing? Yeah, and I will tell you right now, I do not remember half of this opening movie. I think whenever I catch these movies on TV now, it's always like in the middle or toward the end. So both of these movies, I'm like, oh, I don't remember the beginning of this.
Yeah, I didn't remember a lot of the story of this first one until
Right.
watching it again. I really admired this at the time, and a lot was made of this and still is, that this first Godzilla is very subtle. There's a lot of restraint when it comes to the monsters.
Restraint. He gets 11 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
It's like he
So
never came out of his trailer.
There was a lot of comparison with Jaws when this was released. Well, like he's trying to go that route where he's holding back until he gives you the battle at the very end.
Well, yeah.
And I think
I'll
that there's
go there.
something to be said because this is, this is a powerhouse cast, probably the best of any. Maybe that's arguable with Kong Skull Island, but you've got Elizabeth Olsen in here, you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson in here.
This guy is a chameleon. Like everything he is in, he looks and feels completely different.
And
I
of
hate it
course,
that he's everywhere.
they
Every
played siblings famously in the Marvel movies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of weird now, seeing them together. That's your sister. What is this, Luke and Leah? What are you doing? But you're
We
right.
have Bryan Cranston is in here.
Who, I just joked about 11 minutes of screen time for Godzilla. I think Bryan Cranston has less. But boy, he makes the most of it with his time on screen.
He's doing his best Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters here. Who are you people?
Yeah. And this movie fails once he's off screen. It really stumbles.
Oh, it would have been great if he made it through the entire
No, you
thing.
want to. Yeah. I was like, we have him for 2 days. Crap. All right. We're going to have to kill him off. Yeah. But even like, you mentioned Ken Watanabe. Dr.
Serizawa, named after the doctor who develops the oxygen destroyer in the very first Godzilla movie in 1954. So we have also Sally Hawkins as Dr. Graham, who's
She's got more than a little Talia Shire going on there. Huh?
Yes.
And what's sad is so both of these, Serizawa and Sally Hawkins is Dr. Graham, are part of Monarch.
They are. And they're apparently big. They're a big part of Monarch, but
Right.
they're
And
never mentioned from as far as I can tell in the series.
Not in the series. Yeah,
No.
This is where some of this stuff kind of falls because there's even sometimes dates that are set up in these movies that don't necessarily line up with what they're doing on the TV series right now. So, which is fine unless you're going to go back and do what we're doing right here and start connecting the dots. You're like, all right, I'm just going to go with the show.
But there's a lot of buildup, is what I was trying to say about the restraint that Mr. Edwards shows. And it opens a scene in the Philippines in 1999. So I guess this is a rock quarry of some kind that drills into a sinkhole. And in that sinkhole is the fossilized remains of another Godzilla.
Yeah, this thing's massive, by the way.
So this was a species, just like Kong is.
Just like Kong, yeah.
We're told
well, you have
that
to think, right, that there's more than one of them.
it is suggested that both Godzilla and Kong are the last of their kind.
They took their vitamins.
Well,
They
that's not
outlasted.
really true with Kong because there are great apes in New Empire. But
That is true. They weren't so great.
his family, anyway. The last of
Yes.
their family line is probably fairer
Lineage.
to say.
There you
yeah.
go.
So, along with this big skeleton of an apex predator, there is an egg that a parasite has apparently laid into it millennia ago, which the open air has activated. So, whatever was in this egg has hatched, and there's a huge path of destruction from the quarry into the ocean that we're shown. We don't know what this thing is, but
It's
whatever
a
was
big
in the
baby
egg
bird.
has hatched. Yes. Okay. So those paying attention
Yeah.
will probably catch, okay, maybe they won't, because I didn't catch this when I first saw this movie, that this fossil is supposed to be a Godzilla.
No, I didn't catch that.
But that is, upon further viewings, that is what this is supposed to be.
So did something lay an egg in it?
So this Muto, as we later find out that they're called, are natural parasites of the Godzilla species. So they are, nature's kind of check and balance. So this is what these Mutos do, apparently, is find a Godzilla and feed off of it, which doesn't make much sense either when
No.
you go to the later movies because there's a Muto bowing to Godzilla.
Right. So good. I think he was just faking him out until he got closer.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna eat you.
If
I'll
this
lay my
thing's,
egg in you.
pure intent and purpose in life is to feed off of a Godzilla to create more Mutos, then it would never bow to the King of the Monsters. But that's here nor there for this movie. So the Muto escapes. We then get a flash forward from 99 to Japan, where we're introduced to Bryan Cranston's character.
Yeah, just like the TV show, we do a little bit of time jumping here.
And Juliette Binoche as his wife. So a power couple here. You'd never expect to be killed off 10 minutes later after
No, this is very frustrating.
you meet her.
Because well, right, you kill her off and then, 10 minutes later he ends up biting it.
Right.
And you're
But
like,
they work at this nuclear facility, right? So they're not monarch, they're not monster hunters.
right.
They just work at a nuclear facility, and they happen to be the parents of Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, as a child. So they're all
Well,
living
this
in
kid's already
Japan.
traumatized because he wants to give his daddy a birthday gift.
Yeah.
And Dad
Because
don't
his
give a
father is
crap.
never home because he's always working at the plant. He's like
He's always
Homer
at the
Simpson.
plant. He's like Herman Munster.
He's got
with the
donuts
parlor
at his
today?
desk, probably the whole 9 yards.
He's always angry.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's the radiation. He's exposed every day. He's
too bad
turning
he
into
just
the
didn't
Hulk.
Turn into the Hulk. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been great.
There's one day at the plant, there's all these seismic tremors. So he and his wife, they both work at the plant, and the tremors move till they're right under the plant itself, and they're forced to shut down. But the wife is caught underground with the radiation that is then released, and she
Yeah, he's
is
like, we should
killed.
run. No, I'm gonna take this team. All right, you go in.
Yeah.
You go inside. I'll stay out here, honey.
So that was the flashback at the beginning of the movie. The wife is killed, so now he is turned into an angry conspiracy theorist loner years later.
Did you catch in these scenes the Mothra reference?
No, I did not.
So whenever they cut to little Ford in his school classroom,
Okay.
there's a terrarium, and it has like a little cocoon in it, and I believe it has like on a piece of tape somebody wrote Mothra,
Oh,
and then
really?
there is a full diagram on the wall of a big moth looking creature.
Oh,
So they're like, oh, all right, well, we don't see her ever.
is that supposed to exist then in
I don't
reality?
know. I just think it was an Easter egg. I don't think it was meant to be
Yeah.
anything more than that.
But years later, now that the son has grown up into Aaron Taylor
Yeah, then we
Johnson.
cut another 15 years.
Yep. So he lives in San Francisco, but the father stayed behind in Japan. So he is chasing all these conspiracy theories because he knows this wasn't just an earthquake. He's got
15
this.
years he's been obsessed.
So he's chasing all these ideas about sonic echoes, and he thinks that he doesn't know what exactly, but that it was something that caused the tremors.
And I believe he thinks that the government's covering it up.
Yes,
He
and he's
knows the
correct.
government's
He's
covering it up.
correct. Was it in an entire city that they closed down and quarantined,
It
or
was, yeah, yeah, just like they end up doing with San Francisco. And it took him 15 years before he was able to sneak back into his home.
he didn't realize until this movie that there was no radiation, and he took off the mask.
Well, I just find it odd that it took him 15 years to be able to get back in there and make that realization.
Yeah.
Was he just standing outside the zone, pacing back and forth this whole time? Boy, if I get back in there.
But as soon as they do, because the son goes with him. What is his name? Brody? No, the last name is Brody.
Ford.
Ford Brody.
Ford.
So now Ford is with him. So now he knows something is up too, since there's no radiation, right? So why are they covering that up? They
Yeah.
get picked up by the police almost immediately, and are brought to Monarch. I guess it is Monarch that's there. They have the little HQ in the ruins of the.
Sure, they're checking out. They got to find out what's going on here because they know something. They know there's a creature on the loose.
So what has happened? To put two and two together, this thing that came out of the Philippines quarry site made its way after it hatched from the egg to this nuclear site.
Power plant, yeah,
Right.
because it feeds on the radiation. So what did they eat before we invented nuclear power plants?
I don't know. Well, no. Don't they say that like they're feeding off the radiation from the Earth's core before that?
Maybe. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah, I am. At one point when they were skulking around in that forbidden zone, I was pretty sure I saw Rick and Carl in the background there.
So what they are trying to say is that the day that this happened at the nuclear plant where Bryan Cranston's wife died is when this thing came from the Philippines, burrowed underneath the ground, and started to feed off of the reactor. So it wasn't an earthquake. It was this massive creature, and it cocooned itself there. And now, the very day that they're trespassing, it's
It
decided
hatches.
to emerge.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is what we call in the movie industry convenience. We just happen to be sneaking into the zone when it hatches.
But the egg looks like it's the mountain from Nightmare Before Christmas with the big curly
Yeah, it's the
Q
big
on the end
curly
of it.
thing. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on there.
But this is great because I actually really appreciate the emergence in both cases of the Mutos here because everything happens in darkness. So you're only getting
Yeah.
snatches of visuals. And it worked better, I think, before I knew what the things look like when you're trying to figure out for the
Yes,
first
correct.
time.
Yeah, this is like Cloverfield.
Yeah.
You're just getting little snippets of it.
And this is where, unfortunately, Bryan Cranston leaves us.
Oh,
So-
not before he does that Oscar-winning performance in the closet. Like you said, he's screaming. He knows something's going on. I want answers. I know what you know.
Monarch apparently doesn't have his theory about the sonar and the calling.
Which is you've had this thing for 15 years to study
Yeah.
it. And you're like, oh, they're communicating. What? You're just picking up on that now?
Well, that's, another convenience now to get these characters working with Monarch because we need to know what your father knew.
Right.
So-
yeah. Now let's go get all his notes. Those
So now
notes that
you're
have
going to
been
be part of the
sitting there.
Monarch team on our military operation.
Yeah, Monarch's a little too trusting. They just let anybody into this thing. For a top
Yes.
secret organization, they are just giving away info left and right.
So this thing hatches right in the middle of the devastated already nuclear power plant, and Bryan Cranston goes down he's on like a bridge, a platform
This
that the
is this
thing
is
breaks
this is
up.
Star Trek Generations when Captain Kirk literally fell off the captain's bridge and was crushed and then dies in the helicopter.
But you never actually see him. The first time I saw this, I was like, "Oh, he's coming back. There's no way that they've killed
You
him
would
off."
think you kept hoping because he is the driving force
Yeah.
of this story.
Yep.
He's the one who wants answers. He doesn't get them. It's not even cathartic. It is frustrating. So this is the interesting thing, which is we never use the word Titan.
No,
So
that was backed
I think
into
that's established in the later movies
in King of Monsters. I think they start using that term.
at the very end, I think. And the end credit, I think almost. But yeah, not here. They don't refer to him as Titans. They don't imply that maybe there's more of them. Just we got these stupid looking crab guys on the loose. And I've always disparaged their looks, but I think it's definitely grown on me. They got the little wasp wings that they can fly around in.
Yeah, they're almost robotic in a way. Like
Yeah, they don't get a real good chance to emote. Not that monsters emote, but
it's very like they're very Gigan-esque facially and like
yeah. Yeah, they kind of reminded me of some of those bugs on Starship Troopers.
oh yeah, that's a
The
good
big
call.
clampers, the big clamper faces.
But this thing has wings that comes out of the nuclear rubble
Yeah,
and
because we
can
got to get them
fly.
from point A to point B, man. We can't just have.
So now the military is like, You're done, Monarch. We're taking over now. You can advise us, but this
Yeah,
is
you had
now a
15
military
years to figure this
operation."
crap
Yeah.
out, and you've done nothing.
So now the flying creature is flying east over the Pacific, and they are tracking it.
I
So this
did
is
like
where we
at one
get the
point.
exposition from Sally Hawkins as Dr. Graham
Yeah, we get a
that
lot of kind of info dump here on
the
what they know.
fossil that they found was
Yeah.
killed by what now they are now referring to as the mutos, a massive underground terrestrial organism, I believe.
That's a mouthful
But
that
here's
they
the
just.
thing is that in Skull Island, Goodman uses that as a catch-all term for all monsters, not just this. So
Well,
this
maybe
thing
if
never
he.
gets its own name. It's just like calling you or I human the whole time. Like you
Yeah.
don't even deserve your own name. That's
Well,
just a
do you think that
muto.
they're upset that we just refer to them as monsters? It's like, get to know me. I'm not a monster. Yeah, maybe. Well, if they thought they all came from underground, I guess that's a catchphrase you could
Yeah.
use.
It says that at some point millennia ago, they moved underground to feed off the radiation coming from the Earth's core. So that's what they fed on beforehand.
Okay, there you go.
The fossil that they found in the beginning was killed by the Mutos, and our mission was to contain the Mutos while it was cocooned. But something called out to it, as your father has, discovered, and it hatched. So now Aaron Taylor Johnson as Ford is stuck with the Monarch team. So and you see him at a couple of points trying to call home, and like his wife's always, giving the kid a bath or whatever. I'm like,
I
I'd be calling her every 5 minutes to tell her. Like, what does he
Yeah,
wait
it's
every
always
2 days to
she's
call her?
always in the next room when the phone
Yeah,
goes off, and it's like you can't carry that. You don't have a clip that hey carry that thing with you. But I
yeah.
did like at one point when they were watching the news, her and the baby, and she's like, "That's all right, Daddy will be okay." And I'm like, "That kid doesn't even know that man." I say, "You just get him a new daddy."
The Muto is headed east, right? So at this point in the movie, the action converges in Hawaii.
Yeah, they're chasing after this thing.
Yeah.
And Ford keeps saying, I have some skill set, and nobody wants him. Nobody wants this guy until suddenly they're like, it's like Rudolph. Santa wanted nothing to do with Rudolph until he needed him.
Yeah.
Oh, Rudolph's got a special skill set. Yeah, you know what? Screw you people.
Because he's bomb removal.
He's a bomb. Yeah, he's like a bomb dismantle. I don't know. There was a
Yeah.
title or something.
So he's the guy that you go to when you want your bomb dismantled, like right at the 2 or 1 second point
Yes,
on
actually,
the counter.
They trained him to actually cut the wire at exactly 1 second. 2 seconds, maybe.
You got to make it worth it. You got to make it worth it.
Correct. Hold,
Yeah.
hold, hold. It's like Braveheart. Hold. So we go to Hawaii. All right, he's getting some frequent flyer miles. This guy just wants to go home.
And this is a fantastic scene when talking about the Mutos, because I remember seeing this movie in IMAX for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And this was fantastic. Now,
This whole sequence is amazing. The
it is.
reveal, yeah, the reveal of the Muto and the reveal of Godzilla.
The setup for this scene is that now Aaron Taylor Johnson is in Hawaii. He hasn't really hooked up with Monarch yet. He's going home. So he's on a train to get to the airport. And he sees a family whose little kid jumps on the train right before the doors close and the parents aren't fast enough.
Yeah.
So he's trying to tell them through the closed door that, don't worry, I'll bring him back to you. You know,
Yeah, I don't
I'll
trust you. You took my kid.
I know, they can't
never
even
saw
hear
him
what he's
again.
saying. He's like
No.
giving him a thumbs up, like, thank you.
He's like, I'm gonna eat him. All right, it has to be an Easter egg that this little kid is dressed exactly like the little boy in Godzilla's Revenge. That he
Oh,
becomes
yeah,
friends
yeah,
with
yeah.
Mania. That's gotta be. It's gotta be an homage.
Because he's
No,
got the
no,
little
like,
shorts, right?
Unless little Japanese boys all run around dressed like that.
Yeah.
But that's exactly, he's got the little hat, he's got the shorts on. I'm like, oh,
And the other neat thing about these Mutos is when they show up, all the electricity shuts off because they have some kind of electrical pulse.
yeah,
thing
they got
going on.
EMPs, which is a nice levels the playing field a bit.
The train shuts down, so you know something is coming. And then it comes back on, like the backup power or whatever comes back on, and they start moving again. And they're moving. They suddenly out of the train window can see the Mutos like right in front of them. And this is a fantastic visual right here because it's just teetering on its long legs, and it's straddling and it looks like it's a monorail track, like it's an above ground track.
Yes, yeah.
And the train is moving right towards it. So again, on IMAX, this was because you get a point of view from inside the train, and it looked really good.
Yeah, because you're like trapped in the train.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you want to put your face up to the glass. You're like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah.
Because you also mentioned that Godzilla makes the appearance because you also see tourists on the beach in front of
And
their
the water
hotel.
starts to recede. Yeah, that's never a good sign.
So
Run.
some guy yells, tsunami, and they all start running, but it's actually Godzilla coming out of the water. And right as they're about to fight, you suddenly transition to the Elizabeth Olsen and her son watching this on TV, and you just see a little bit of the fight on CNN. So Gareth Edwards in the bonus features is like, I love that I did that. I really had to pull myself back. Like, I am not going to show this fight.
Oh,
I'm
just
saving
gonna
this
tease
until
it.
the end. Yeah, I'm just going to tease it on the TV.
You son of a. Yeah, but you're right. This ramps up. This is quite exciting
Yeah.
because, like you said, the Muto blasts the EMP, and then we get that plane falling out of the sky right in the middle of a.
That the entire population of this like 3 or 4 block area in Hawaii, in Honolulu, is like drowned by the.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's another cheat because we see a dog tied to a tree, and then when the tidal wave comes, the dog's running away, and I'm like, how did he get out of there?
Well, the dog, you see the dog break the leash because it's so
Oh, did
like,
he? Oh,
yeah.
I missed it. I missed that.
He's just like F this, and he breaks the leash.
Yeah, well, you don't want to. You can't.
It's like the
can't
dog-shaped hole in the wall when he sees.
Rock roll. But this reveal, this Godzilla foot that comes down is fire, man. This is and it's great too because like when he stomps, like everything just goes quiet. Anyone that's on the train screaming, just everything just goes silent.
And it's at this point, because that fight doesn't end conclusively, or you never know if it does, because probably the Muto just flies away after fighting with Godzilla for a little bit, because it's still on its way east. And we find out it's on its way east because there's another egg. Monarch has been kind of
Monitoring?
keeping under its belt. And
Let's bury it in the Yucca Flats of Nevada with all the nuclear waste.
it looks like it's moving right towards this other egg that we're also monitoring. So sure enough, that egg hatches, and this is the female Muto who walks right through downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen Vegas be decimated by monsters before.
Outside of the Marvel Godzilla comic, but There was an arc where
You
Godzilla
are
goes through
correct.
Vegas.
Oh, you're going
Yeah,
all the way back. That's old
yeah.
school. He just wanted to go see Penn and Teller. He heard they were in town. What would have been cool is if the sphere existed back then, and you just put like a big Godzilla face on the sphere.
Or if, one of the monsters just destroys the sphere, that would have been worth it
Oh,
as
that's a
well.
lot of work for nothing. But apparently, radiation is like high karate to these things.
Yeah. So
They're
now they're
like,
putting that
ooh.
together because now they're like, okay, now Godzilla is moving east. And Serizawa is the one saying, well, Godzilla is probably coming as a force of nature to deal with these two things.
And you know what's funny? You mentioned Serizawa during this whole sequence when they realize that Godzilla's on his way. Like he's on that aircraft carrier, and he's like a little 4-year-old boy. He's like racing up to the top deck, and she's like, "Where are you going?" He goes, "He's coming. I gotta see this." Like if you've been studying these things your whole life, and you know it exists, and you know it's coming, yeah, I'm gonna be right there at the window as well. I gotta see this thing. There it
Yeah.
is. Holy crap! This is like chasing Bigfoot your entire life.
So now they know that these things feed off radiation. So they're like, well, if we detonate a nuclear bomb off of the coast, far enough away where it's safe, these things will follow it and then we can destroy them, like when we detonate it. So what do? Their plan is to bring it through San Francisco to put it on the boat. I'm like, why would you bring it to a populated area if you know that these things
That
are
these things are
following
after
it?
it. Yeah. It is
There's
kind of
no
a,
other dock that you can dock this onto a boat other than San Francisco.
I don't know. What can cause the most damage?
Yes.
We can go right through California. Okay. All right, let's do that. Yeah. But meanwhile, poor Ford, he's begging. Get me on the bomb train. Can I just get home? And they're only taking this thing 20 miles off the coast. You might want to go a little bit further, maybe?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
did seem.
yeah, 20 miles is good. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Let's
These
hope
things
the
are
wind is
giant.
blowing the right way that day.
That's it's like 5 steps and he's back in your town.
This is G Day. This is
This
the
is
setup
G
of G
Day.
Day.
And this is genius. This is where the Monarch TV series has really gotten the most mileage out of this is the fact that you've had Kate and some of these other characters experience this day. This is like 9/11 to them. This is a traumatic experience.
You're shown the action happening on the Golden Gate Bridge. And Elizabeth Olsen and Ford's kid are on one of these school buses trying to get out of the city. And the driver, fortunately, had an opening and he just floored it and got off
Gunned
the
it.
bridge. But as we know from Monarch, Kate and her class of kids
And didn't
also
make it.
on this bridge didn't make it.
Didn't make it. Meanwhile, can I just point out that pretty much all the damage on that bridge was caused by the man-made missiles until Godzilla said, screw this, and he just walked right through it.
Yeah.
So the one thing I did learn, because you're watching this and you're like, oh, this is all like just CG. They built like a 400-foot actual replica of the bridge for this
Really?
entire sequence. But it's what they would refer to as a bigature.
Okay.
Not a miniature. It was big enough that you could get detail on it. But yeah, this whole sequence is pretty impressive.
But
He's
yeah,
like,
they can't get the bomb into the water fast enough, so the monsters, of course, converge on San Francisco. And this is the big fight. So watching this end fight at home with the Blu-ray, for whatever reason, the Blu-ray is extremely dark. And all
Really?
these scenes take place at night. So it is very hard to see what's going on during the fight scene.
That's the complete opposite of what a Blu-ray is supposed to do.
Yeah. So, not that I couldn't see it. It is just, I had
No,
to
but
fight
you
to
want to
see
see
it.
more.
Godzilla's being double teamed by these two things.
Yeah. But is that
And-
before the Halo jumpers?
Oh, the Halo jumpers.
Because this was like a selling point in the advertisements when they first were teasing this movie. Was this scene of these army guys jumping out of the back of the helicopter, and they've got the red smoke coming off their heel as they're paratrooping down, and they're just flying by Godzilla, and you're just getting bits and pieces of what this creature looks like, and the true scale. This thing's like almost 400 foot tall, which is crazy. Again, this is like the biggest version of this creature we've ever seen.
I can't express how impressive this was in the trailer, seeing
Yeah.
this visual. Because the first time I saw the trailer, I didn't know that this was Godzilla. All you see are the
Right.
guys jumping out of the plane and the
Yep.
red smoke, which is cool in itself. You just see like the coming
And
out
they
of the
and
clouds.
you cut through the first person point of view of these guys, and all you hear is like they're heavy breathing in the mask.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on? And you're
So
right.
at this point, seeing this trailer, you didn't know that there was another monster or monsters involved other than Godzilla. So you just maybe thought that this was Godzilla on the rampage himself, what this movie was going to be about. And a little disappointed because I would have liked to have seen that, but we got it later in Minus Zero and Shin Godzilla and those things.
Yeah, compared to some of the, especially King of the Monsters,
But
this
that
is
is
an
a
appetizer.
fantastic visual
Yep.
with those with the halo jumpers.
Yep.
The one Muto, the female, the bigger one, which doesn't have wings, is just like this bull. It's so much bigger than the male, and it's pregnant. It's got an egg sac, which Ford discovers and destroys.
So did the Mutos just get like a hotel room in Vegas and do it?
They must
It was
have,
in
unless
San
they're,
Francisco somewhere?
unless he, fertilizes her by flying around. I don't know what their
I
biological.
think we're overthinking that one.
Yeah.
But you do have the aspect of almost like a praying mantis in the sense that once his job is done, she just turns around and eats his head.
Yeah.
That would have actually
But yeah,
worked
we
out
didn't
better.
get that far. It was they
No,
both fight Godzilla.
they were still in post-coitus.
But the Muto sees Ford after Ford sets fire to the egg sac. So she's pissed at him specifically.
Yeah, little tiny human.
But yeah, so Godzilla, is just like any good monster fight, he's like on the ropes for a while. And he's got to battle back like Rocky, so you
Yeah,
got to
sure.
root for him.
You can't be a 1-2-3 punch knockout.
So this is not like a Gina Carano fight here.
Oh, Tina.
The male goes down first, and then he's got to deal with the bigger female. And this is when we finally get the reveal of the atomic breath.
And this is nice because it really starts at his tail and just kind of works up. Like it's like the power grid. It's coming back online.
Seeing this for the first time, this is another thing that you're waiting to happen. You're waiting for this to happen.
Sure, we know this is a skill set Godzilla has.
Anything goes because he didn't show this skill set in the 98 version. Again, another reason for it not to be called Godzilla.
Yeah, he could eat a lot of fish, though.
This could have been a purely aesthetic choice not to have him do his fire breath, but no. He does it egregiously into the mouth. He pries open the mouth of the female Muto, blows the fire right into it, and the head comes right off in his hands.
And you assume that the eggs die. Or
because
Godzilla has them for breakfast?
No, Ford throws gasoline all over him and burns them. So so they die earlier.
These Mutos, they're like cicadas. They're just coming out of the ground. They gotta mate, and then they go away. So they weren't really. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're out there destroying crap, but they're like Titanx. Titanx just wanted to lay her eggs and go away. I come out of ground and there's all these people. Last time I was here was like in the turn of the century.
But what they just established earlier in the movie is correct. They couldn't lay the eggs unless they were laying them in Godzilla.
In Godzilla.
So could they even have hatched without, a host body?
So something to feed off. I don't know. If that's the case, they weren't very good parents.
No. But Godzilla, he's a little bit the worse for wear, so he has to take a nap after.
He takes a nap. Takes a little power nap. Right in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we gonna do with this thing?
So this is a classic. Everybody's reunited the next morning. The Elizabeth Olsen and her kid find each other and they find Ford. As Godzilla gets up and makes his way into the water, you hear the newscasters on CNN is saying the savior of our city. Godzilla also, he probably
destroyed
killed
our
about
city.
1 million people. Yeah.
He's the savior.
Yeah.
With some collateral damage. But this is the catalyst for Kate's backstory. And in Monarch, the TV show, San Francisco is still in quarantine. Bridge is still destroyed. looks like plants have grown up around the city. They're like, we're just gonna leave this.
So you
Nothing
would
much we can
imagine
do.
that there's probably, factions of people that are pro-Godzilla and anti-Godzilla.
No, imagine that. Protests. What are you gonna do? We like the big guy. Off he goes. Got rid of the Mutos and destroyed half your cities. Have a good day.
So I found this extremely satisfying upon first viewing. I remember
Yep.
I wasn't disappointed. I think that Gareth was successful in his bid to kind of hold back until the end. Sure, I would have liked to have seen more Godzilla, but I
Of course,
think
we all want to see that.
this legitimizes the movie was seen as a legitimate, it wasn't just like a lark. It wasn't made fun of. I think it was critically very well received at the
I
time.
think it was so successful they immediately greenlit those two sequels,
Yeah.
like mere days after the premiere.
And how successful, you may ask? Well, the budget was about 160 million to
Woo!
make this movie. It made worldwide 529 million. So
All
even
right.
after marketing costs, it made
Yeah.
a hefty profit.
Hmm. Well, think about this, because Toho had kind of stopped making Godzilla movies. So how long had it been before this came in theater since we had seen a Godzilla movie in the theater?
In America? Because unless you
Final
were
Wars
like,
was, oh no, Shin Godzilla had come out. No, Shin Godzilla
no,
came
it
out
hadn't
after
come out.
this.
The last movie to have been released was Final
Final
Wars.
Wars. And that was early
That
2000.
was that was 10 years before this
Wow.
movie.
Okay. All right. So the audience was primed. We were
Yeah.
ready. Yeah. Yeah, I think when I saw this in the theater, I probably walked away a little disappointed because you say you want more monster action. I was not the Mutos for me were not a huge threat. I just wanted to lay eggs. But
Yeah, especially now seeing the other movies, like,
yeah,
compared to Ghidorah, the Mutos seem like very, yeah, small
milk
scale,
toast. Yeah. But it did its job. And there were some scenes that we had not seen in a Godzilla movie before. Again, the Halo jump scene, sticks out to me as being just visually, it's very arresting. There's a lot going on here. I did see Andy Serkis was actually on set working with the motion capture sequences. So if that's the case, was there a guy walking around in a suit for reference? I mentioned the fact that they built this 400-foot scale version of the Golden Gate Bridge. So I wonder if there was somebody on set acting out Godzilla.
unless it was just somebody like in a Tom Hanks Polar Express suit with circles
Well,
all
even if they
over him.
just had ping pong balls on them, yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I also saw Guillermo del Toro's name bandied about that he was in talks to direct this. Unfortunately, he was tied up with Pacific Rim,
I read
which,
somewhere where he chose to do Pacific Rim rather than this.
oh,
Maybe because that was his own,
Well,
baby.
because it is his own thing. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to play in your sandbox. I'm going to make my own.
Oh, that would be so awesome if that was a shared universe.
That needs to be although those things were big, but I don't think they're
That's how you
400
could bring in
foot big.
like Jet Jaguar or somebody like
Sure,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Japan's got their own kaiju, whatever what were they calling those? Jaegers. That's what they were.
I was convinced that that was a nod to Jet Jaguar, just to call him that, but
Yeah,
I don't think it was.
we'll take it. We know he's a fan. He
Yeah.
loves that crap. So,
So I heard personally of a few kids that were taken to see this and were bored out of their minds, the Godzilla 2014, just
hmm,
because there's a
a
lot
lot of
of exposition.
well, that's any Godzilla movie. You get enough a lot of you watch Shin Godzilla, they just run around from office to office.
But I think that they solved that problem with the King of the Monsters and
Yeah,
with
it's build up. This
subsequent.
is
Yeah,
the whetting your appetite for the
yeah.
universe, especially when you realize what the larger vision here. And I think if this didn't do well, they probably would have just scrapped the entire idea.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that this was all hinging on how this movie did.
Right.
If it performed like the 98, forget it. You'd never see another thing again.
Well, wasn't 98 a huge hit though?
No, no.
No?
Mm-mm.
Really? That was all hype? No,
It just barely. made back its budget.
Really?
But so it lost money in terms,
This
because
ad
that was a
campaign.
huge marketing push.
The ad campaign had to have been massive.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't go anywhere without like life-size billboards all around Manhattan.
It was just word of mouth.
Size
It was
does
not
matter.
good.
Is that what it was? Size matters.
Size matters,
Size matters.
and it doesn't. The word of mouth wasn't good on the 98. I just think a lot of people just got turned away. They were like, no.
I
But
do remember them making fun of it on the MTV Movie Awards.
there's so much merchandise out there for this 2014 Godzilla. And I've got two of them, I think. I bought two of them, actually. There's a giant action figure. It's probably...
Is he life size?
No, but it's like 2 feet tall. It's big.
That's taller than the Godzilla fist throwing.
Oh, it's much taller than that.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, they didn't come out with a similar figure for either of the Muto, so there's nothing for this guy to fight, but I never took it out of the box anyway. I've got both of them up in the attic, so I have no idea how.
So this is one thing we haven't talked about yet, which is the actual design of this Godzilla. Because he does, you mentioned the 98 Godzilla, which makes him much more limber, much more T-Rexy with a big head. But this guy borders more on what I would refer to as like a fat marine iguana, where his neck just kind of like goes into his head.
He's
like he's
thick.
got a little. He is very thick. He's got a very tiny head. I don't know if this is the first time we ever saw him swim like a marine iguana, where he's just powering up and is just, head in the water and his little arms are pulled back. This is what I don't like about the current Godzilla in the MonsterVerse. His forearms are too long now. He's a little too expressive.
Well, he's got to tangle. He's got to, he's got to get down and dirty.
Well, I get it. Design-wise, he does need to grab onto Kong at some point. And we'll get there because Kong, when we first meet him in Skull Island, is nowhere near this big. As massive as he is, he's nowhere near this big. But we are told he's still growing.
Yes, that's the catch-all right there.
That's a nice little throwaway. He's just a baby. He's just a baby monkey. Okay. All right. So,
do we want to give this buckets? I'm still holding strong for King of the Monsters being my favorite MonsterVerse movie, with Skull Island a close second. But for this, I would give this a strong 3.5 buckets out of 5. The Godzilla 2014. Maybe even after talking about it, 3 3/4. 3 3/4. My final buckets.
That's funny because I have 3 3/4.
Okay.
Just enough to whet your appetite. More to come. Nice introduction of this character. I think Serizawa does carry over into King of Monsters. None of the other characters do. Sally Hawkins' character.
Sally Hawkins does, but she dies like almost immediately at the beginning of King of the Monsters.
Alert.
Ghidorah stomps on her. Skull Island accepted because that takes place in the 70s.
Right.
Each consecutive MonsterVerse movie carries over 1 or 2 characters but leaves the rest behind. Slowly, we're coming out of the cast of 2014 until there's nobody left from 2014.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown's even outgrown her use.
Yeah, she's done.
That's a solid 3 3/4.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
A good start. And so this ends on a note where you wish, immediately you want another movie. Now that the world knows about them.
Some of that stuff, the end credits as well, just the graphics. And you're like, oh, well, maybe there's more to come.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you're good and you see this movie a couple times, we'll give you another monster. So that leads us into Kong Skull Island. Would you like to go to the concession stand for
Yes, I need something. I need something here.
Well, here's the problem. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to stress this. This is not an ideal snack for your matinee. This is something I do not recommend you sneak into the movie theater. I would imagine it's going to be a nightmare to eat in the dark. But I had to lean into our second feature and the fact that some of these soldiers give a little name to Kong at some point. But so this treat has gone by many names, including Bubble Loaf, Pinch Me Cake, pull apart jumble bread and sticky bread. But for today's purposes and my best attempt to actually make this a tenuous connection to our backup feature, we're going to call it by its Titanic name of monkey bread.
Monkey bread.
Monkey bread. Are you not even familiar with monkey bread?
No, I am not.
You've not. Oh, well, I'm going to educate you. So my very next thing, what the F is monkey bread? Apparently, so you were not.
That's my first question, yeah.
But maybe you grew up calling it bubble loaf. Maybe you grew up calling it pinch me cake. I've never heard of any of these. Sticky bread, maybe. So anyway, since you don't know what monkey bread is, it's a cluster of sticky sweet bread balls, all baked inside a bundt cake, round loaf. So a bundt cake, are you familiar with what a bundt cake is?
Yes.
It's a pan with a hole in the middle.
Yep.
Okay. I think maybe in the 70s, Grandma would make a Jell-O mold out of it.
Is this because it resembles a monkey's posterior when it comes out of the oven?
There does seem to be a lot of hubbub why it's actually referred to as monkey bread. No one seems to be able to say definitively why. It is monkey bread. So what it is so you take these these bread balls, and the recipes I found that you can make this like Pillsbury doughboy, Pillsbury, like the biscuits in the little canister. You can take those out, break them apart, and roll them into little balls, and then you smother it in butter, sugar, and vanilla extract, and then you just line them up and you put them in the bundt cake, and then you cook that thing.
So they're inside the bundt cake.
So then you turn the bundt cake upside down, you pop it out, so now you have a ring of gooey bread balls. And
so it's kind of similar to the mutos and who impregnate the host, right? So the bundt cake is the host in this case.
Yes, you're going to impregnate the bundt cake. And then you fill the hole in the middle with some lovely dipping sauces, so you can dips, jams, or preservatives. So yes, exactly like a muto. And then you just pull it apart. Little piece at a time. And you eat it, you dunk it. Apparently this is a huge holiday treat. And there does seem to be some confusion as to who actually gets credit for this thing. Apparently in the 40s, there was a silent movie actress, Zazu Pitts. And she would make this for her parties, and everyone accredits her. I've seen where Nancy Reagan gets credit for it because she introduced it in the 80s to the White House Christmas parties. But they're all posers because Bonzo says that's all BS. That goes all the way back to Hungary in the 1880s. And this was a treat referred to as Arani Galuska, which roughly translates to golden dumpling. Now, I don't know if there were bundt cakes back then, if they had pans that old back in the 1800s. But the idea of taking these little balls of sugar, just a little sugar treat. I guess in 1972, Betty Crocker actually had a recipe called Hungarian coffee cake, which kind of set off the craze here.
Well, this is what I'm thinking is like this would probably be excellent with a cup of coffee.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't even need a dipping sauce.
Yeah.
I don't know, outside of maybe like a jam, like what else would you dip in these things? I don't know. The only other fun fact that I came across, which was on the night before Ronald Reagan actually testified in Congress for the Iran-Contra hearings, he said, "Mommy, I may go to prison, but I'll always remember this monkey bread." And I don't know if that's true, but I thought that was kind of funny.
No, she had already made monkey bread with a nail file in it. Just in case.
I don't even know if that would work. There's a hole in the middle of that cake. So no.
It would have to be a very small nail file.
Right. But no monkeys were harmed in the making of this treat. So there you go, monkey bread. So it reminded me though, as kids, we used to eat, like my parents used to serve stuff and tell you that there were monkey brains.
Monkey brains?
Monkey
like
brains?
Chilled monkey brains?
Turkey turds in rainwater. You ever had that for dinner?
No.
when you asked your mom?
I would not have eaten it if
Your
it
parents
was
said, "What's for
presented to
dinner?
me
Turkey
in
church and
such a
rainwater?"
light. No.
It's just my insensitive parents who used to tell me that. We used to also eat shit on a shingle.
There, you see, I was already a finicky eater, and
No,
that
now
just
this is
wouldn't
a
have helped.
complete turn off. So
Yeah.
none of these are appetizing to you.
No.
I think shit on a shingle though was it was like chipped beef on bread with gravy, like a white gravy.
Okay. Well, see, that sounds delicious now. I would eat that now.
I just have to rename it. Is that what you're implying?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Oh, monkey bread. That's all I
Monkey
got.
bread.
Monkey bread.
Fantastic segue.
Since we got a big monkey coming up.
Kong, Skull Island.
Yeah, we've been sitting on this for a very long time.
I am still in shock that this is not rated R, this movie. There's stuff that happens that I just can't believe that they would let go in a PG-13.
Such as?
Carnage. Lots of soldiers going into helicopter rotors.
Yeah, that was pretty grisly.
Human death. Like that whole helicopter scene alone, I think deserves an R
yeah.
rating.
I think if you go all the way back to Godzilla, it was PG, but it was credited with a mayhem and creature violence.
Yeah,
So
and the
maybe-
creature violence is off the
Yeah,
charts in
no,
here. These
but
skull
when-
crawlers, you see, like, you know, they're
Well, at one point
what
he
makes
puked
them
up that
tick on the
human skull.
inside.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, however they got away with it, it is PG.
And the one guy that gets impaled through the mouth by the spider leg.
Spider, that was pretty grisly. Yeah, you are right. It's like, yeah, kids, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not too traumatizing.
It's monster violence. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
So this is only 3 years after Godzilla, 2014.
2014. So I remember when this came out, right? And I think, well, not maybe when it came out, but you and I were discussing this years ago. And you had said that your son already put it together when you saw the closing credits. Like, does this mean that they will eventually bring Godzilla and Kong together?
Well, you literally get a Godzilla roar at the end credit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that is exactly what it meant.
That's exactly where they were going. And as exciting as this movie is, that end credit little tease was enough for you to be like, oh, you're in for it.
Yes, yeah, you're doing backflips out the theater at that point.
What? Yeah. So I never even heard of this director, Jordan Vogt Roberts. Does he have any
No,
other
and this
credits?
is his claim to fame, right? This is his big movie.
Well, this is a hell of a movie to hang your hat on. This is solid entertainment right here.
It is. And the fact that this movie was evolving throughout the making of it, story-wise, it's incredible that they came out with such a solid film, because I don't think they had the story nailed down even when they started filming this.
All right, we're just going to have you run through the jungle and encounter some creatures. We'll put them in post. Just
Yeah, this
act
went
afraid.
through so many iterations with different writers till it came to a completely different place than what the starting point was.
Really?
Yeah. Like
So
originally
again-
it was supposed to take place in World War I, and
Which is kind of what we got with Godzilla Minus Zero.
yeah, this is true. Although the director here, Vogt Roberts, always envisioned like even with the poster, visuals right out of Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice it's a mashup of a war movie. It's an army war movie. It's Apocalypse Now and King Kong.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of neat little callbacks to the original Kong in here. Even like that scene where the helicopters are flying around and they're shooting at him. I'm like, oh, this is just like the Empire State Building. He's just being surrounded by these things, getting pummeled.
Yes, and the director at one point, because I watched the commentary as well
Okay.
off the Blu-ray, and he said that he wanted to nod at the fact that Kong in the original was eating people. So
Yes,
he did it in the
yes,
way where the
yes.
guy just fell into his mouth.
In
Like
his
he
mouth.
wasn't, knowingly eating him.
Gratuitous. Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, because that was so horrific for the people back in 33. They cut that. People were horrified by that scene. I think it's back in now.
It's
'cause there
back
was like
in
a
now.
50th. Yeah, there was a 50th
Yeah.
anniversary. And you're right. You like to step on people as well.
And it blew my mind that I never put this together, that the skull crawler is in the 33 version of King Kong.
Really?
Yes, there's just a very brief scene when Kong goes back to his cave before the pterodactyl
Okay.
fight.
Yeah. Right.
He fights off like a little creature that comes on like the bottom of your screen, the stop
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
motion.
Yeah. I do remember that.
And
Yeah.
it
Crawling up the
is
side of the.
it's just got
Really?
two front arms and it's a long
And a
snake.
tail. Oh,
And
get out of here.
that's what they
That's
based the
crazy.
skull
No, I
crawler
never
on.
picked up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even like when he takes the one scroll collar out and he's literally like ripped its jaws open, like to me that goes right back to the T-Rex fight
Yes.
in
Yep.
33. And I thought all the bug action was from the deleted bug scene, which Peter Jackson's Kong really leaned into.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you want to see bugs eat people? All right, let's go.
So I had already established in the first movie that the origins of Godzilla 14 were from Yoshimitsu Banno and his trying to bring a Godzilla movie to IMAX. Well, this has its origins with Peter Jackson. So this initially was going to be a Universal movie and a sequel to Peter Jackson's King Kong, which was
Oh, get out of here.
a huge hit because Jackson himself was not going to direct, and eventually it got into the hands of Legendary, just like Godzilla did. And so then it transitioned away from being a sequel to Peter Jackson's Kong, and Universal were no longer interested. So Legendary had to shop it to Warner Brothers. Now, I don't know, what they paid Universal or what they gave Universal for the rights, but obviously a deal was made. Further complicating things is that the novelization of King Kong, because King Kong was an original idea, and they came out with a novel at the same time that the movie came out, the 33 movie.
Right.
So the novel has fallen into public domain. So I don't know how much
Oh,
of
that's
that
interesting.
influenced, Legendary being able to get these perpetual rights to King Kong to use them in every single thing that they do. But they do, so now he's a Legendary property, apparently.
Imagine being like an entertainment lawyer and you're just trying to figure all this crap out.
Yeah, I know. Going
Well,
back decades, trying to
Right.
unravel
Well, you
this.
can't lean into the movie, but the novelization is available. What?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Mhm.
Okay.
So you can take
Cool.
that character.
Huh. Alrighty.
Oh, I love this subplot here. John
this
C.
is crazy.
Riley, who
This is-
comes later.
And I will say again, both these movies, the opening, I'm like, I don't remember this at all. I mean, again, if I come across these movies, they're already well into, if I'm scanning channels, it's like, oh, they're already in the boneyard. So this opening sequence is fantastic. Yeah. And this is a movie I want to see.
Yeah.
We need a side movie of these two characters.
The
and
director
they're
was like,
28
he was
years.
always interested in showing, like making a
Yes.
prequel of just these two younger characters
Yeah,
on
because
the island.
I can't remember the other the Japanese guy's name, but outside of this opening sequence, we never see him because he's already dead by the time we're introduced to Hank.
Yeah, so this is obviously taking place in the Second World War, and these two planes, one American and one Japanese, both crash onto Skull Island. And the pilots at first, they both survive. They try to kill each other, and they're actually, and this is another, argument for it to be R-rated. There's the scene where Riley's character, as a young man, is just getting stabbed. The Japanese soldier has a sword. Riley grabs the sword.
Oh, and you get to, and I meant to keep going back and look at his hands and see if they actually followed through with his hands being sliced up, but yeah, this dude brought a gun to a samurai sword fight and pretty much lost.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a gun.
Their fight is interrupted by a giant hand, a giant ape hand. Now,
And banana
I
bread.
always assumed that this was Kong. It's not. This is supposed to be
what?
Kong's dad,
What?
because Kong didn't.
Oh.
Kong is an adolescent in Skull Island.
So even more so now that they would have adventures on this island within that 30-year span
With the family.
with the other family of Kongs or whatever their names were. I
And
was actually hoping that there'd be a shipwreck with a millionaire and maybe a sex pot actress.
and I only knew that because I watched the commentary.
Oh,
Like, he's like, well,
I did.
and even the director is like, I don't know exactly who this is, but I assume it's Kong's dad.
Oh, I just assumed it was Kong. All right. So
He's got his father's eyes
he's got his eyes and his hands. Here it
Mhm.
is. I did break down and buy myself the Blu-ray.
for this viewing.
Yeah, I had Godzilla, but I did not have Skull Island. And again, this to me is solid entertainment. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. So I picked up the Blu-ray. I didn't get to watch any of the special features, but I'll backtrack.
And what I love also about this opening scene is the very first shot where you see the before the parachute deploys, the American soldier just falling with the sun in the background, which
Yeah,
is supposed to be a direct reference to the story of Icarus, which is told by
he
Sam
does tell it
Jackson
later. Yeah,
later. Yeah.
yeah. Got too close to the sun. Hmm.
And then, so this is the moment that I'm waiting for in this viewing is the fast forward to 1973 and Bill Randa.
Yeah, because so in this universe, this is the first time we're meeting Bill Randa, but we now have had two seasons, well, a season and a half of Monarch following this character, leading into this.
So he's trying to cut through red tape, and there's a throwaway joke. He's dropped off by a taxi in Washington, and he sees all the Vietnam protesting going on, and he
Yeah, this is
says,
a nice the opening credits, just like in Godzilla, where we got the redacted news articles and stuff about the monsters. This is more like the history leading into it. We're getting Vietnam stuff and the moon landing, Nixon. So getting caught up because this is 1973.
yeah. And he
So
says there's a line. He says Washington will never be as screwed up as it is now.
I know, and I literally wrote, "Oh, Billy, if you only knew what was to
Yeah.
come." Yeah, but this is where I mentioned before there is a little screenshot in those opening credits of Bill Randa's Monarch ID card, and I guess their tagline is "Beyond logic lies truth." Didn't they just steal that from X-Files? The truth is out there.
Well, I thought
Like,
that
well,
their
we can't just.
tagline was what were the three words that they used in the
Yeah, it
show?
was like explore,
Yeah.
research, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But it says he's the Department of Cryptozoology assistant professor. Date of DOI was March 10th, 1952. And then there's a paper that he wrote called Beyond Flora and Fauna, a post-Darwin thesis on the nature of our world. And it does talk a lot about this potential hidden world, hollow earth,
Yeah, I was
in that
very happy.
paperwork.
I didn't remember that this was even referenced in this movie, and
Yeah.
I was happy that there's that through line at least.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. That's what he's looking for. I mean, later we're told that they're portals, but here he's just like, I know something's going on here.
Yeah. So he's
I need
he's
more
and
research.
Richard Jenkins is the guy that he's trying to get the money out of
Yeah,
in
isn't
the
that
beginning.
stepbrother's dad in the movie Step Brothers? He's
Yes,
married
yes.
to Mary Steenburgen.
He's saying he knows that there's an ecosystem there at Skull Island, and he's showing Jenkins pictures from the 54 nuclear test. He's like, that wasn't a test. We were trying to kill something.
Yep.
And now we know that Randa from the show knows all about Godzilla by name, right? So
Yeah.
the director during the commentary says that initially the script did say that they were trying to
Reference.
kill something called Godzilla, but he
Oh,
didn't want
okay.
to at that point. He said, this is a Kong movie, and if I give away Godzilla, that's, this is a shared universe. That's all people are going to be thinking about for the rest of the
Through
movie.
the rest of the movie. That's actually a
Yeah.
pretty good call.
Yeah.
But so he at one point he actually shows him a picture of the USS Lawton, which is a aircraft carrier that was all torn up. Clearly, it looks like a Godzilla type creature or something tore the front of it. But he said he explains that he was a sole survivor. And that I don't think has been talked about or
I think it
explored.
was because
Was
there was
it?
a story in the Monarch show where he was on a ship that he does tell a story at some point during the
Okay, so
show.
they did
Yeah.
explain it in season one. I just need to go back. And again, probably not connecting the dots at that time. I just took it at face value and didn't
Yeah.
realize
And
that.
this is why he is so obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah,
Well,
this is fun introduction to this character. And Brooke, who I guess is there because he's the one who had the idea or he had a paper written about Hollow Earth.
yes. So he's along for the ride because Randa now has somebody that can back up his claims.
Right.
And Brooks being played by another actor, the character comes back for King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get the money. And so, but what they need is a military escort and a
Yeah.
guide.
And that's fun too because he's begging for the money. And then Brooks is like, listen, Senator, we know there's something out there. The Russians know that there may be something out there too. Let's get it before they do. That's all
Yeah.
you got to say. All right, I'll give you the money. Oh yeah, babe, one more thing. We need a military escort. It's like, oh, you mother.
So now we're introduced to Lieutenant Colonel Packard, played by Samuel Jackson, who is like a lifetime military man, right? So
Yeah, he's not happy the war's over.
no, and
This
he
guy's
he actually
immediately like,
once
what
he
am I
gets
gonna
the
do
call,
now?
he gets the call, and he's
Oh,
like,
he can't
"Thank
wait.
you." He's like,
Yeah.
"Thank you." Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, his whole troop is like, we're going home. Yeah, I'm going home, man. Jerk. This guy's a jerk.
And of course, when we're introduced to them, I don't think they play Fortunate Son, but there's
No, they
plenty
did
of
not.
60s
Yeah.
era. I think
Some of it was a little
time
too spot on. I think the
again,
Hollies
time has
are,
come today. That's the one
yeah,
they play in every single
working
movie.
for the FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Jefferson Airplane, the White Rabbit,
Yeah.
when you're 10 feet tall. I was like, oh, we're going to see a 10-foot tall monster later. Like they were literally, but yes, thankfully we did not get Fortunate Son.
No. But we do meet Tom Hiddleston as Conrad. So he is the tracker that is going to guide them through Skull Island.
I did like him better with a beard.
Did he have a beard in the beginning?
Yeah, when I first met him in the bar, he had a beard.
Oh, okay.
More scruff than what he had later. I guess he shaved before the mission.
But originally, this character had a backstory where he also had a run-in, like him and his British special ops team had a run-in with some kind of a creature. So now this is why he does what he does. But that went
He's
away,
like
that
a
backstory.
mercenary for hire tracker. What
And we
exactly am I
also-
tracking? We can't tell you.
We get Brie Larson as Mason Weaver, who is the official photographer of the
Yeah,
expedition.
this is Marvel royalty here between Nick Fury, Captain Marvel, even what's his face played one of the Nova Corps officers in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And the other guy was on one of the soldiers was on Agent Carter. He was the shield guy from Agent Carter.
Interesting. So they really pilfered this.
They absolutely did. And we get Toby Kebbell, Kebbell and Bits
It's
as Chapman. And this guy did.
we're invested in this guy all for nothing.
I know this is such a red herring where you think that he is the hero of the movie.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, he's got that grizzled war vet look.
But what's great about him is Toby Kebbell. He did the motion capture for one of the Planet of the Apes movies.
Oh, get out of here. I think
And
kept
he
his
did
makeup on.
in this movie, he did motion capture for Kong's face as well.
What?
The
Really?
same actor, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that.
So he's doing double duty here. He
I was
plays two
gonna say, do you
characters.
think he got two paychecks?
I hope he did.
I hope so too.
He probably
my
got more
question
for
is-
he got more for the Kong than he did for his actual on-camera
Yeah, I
character.
think he emoted more for Kong, that's for sure. So we bring in Brie Larson's character, Weaver, she's a reporter who is embedded in the military. She's an anti-war photographer. But Bill Rand is videotaping this entire thing. So why do you need someone with an extra camera?
Well,
It
you
just
do
seems-
need file photos, right? So it can't all be.
How many rolls
Video.
of film did she bring? How many times did she end up in the water?
Well,
Is
she's
this
a
film
professional.
surviving? Is this
Well,
film?
she's a war photographer. She's got to be
She's
ready
an
for that
anti-war
stuff. Yeah.
photographer.
The Hiddleston scene where they go to hire him, so
Oh,
Han Solo in Star Wars.
it's yeah. No, that's a guy we want tracking us.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The one thing I'll point out, and I thought this was really funny, is I guess the amount of misused technology and technical goofs throughout this is just astronomical. Like even like going back to the senator scene, they're using computers that weren't even existed back then during the 1973. But whatever, it's its own world. Even the beer that Packard was drinking had not been invented yet.
Well, the thing that I am most concerned with is if they're using songs that it's
That had
era
not, yeah.
specific. But they're
That's your
all
department. They're all
they're
there.
all era specific. So
All right.
I was fine with that.
Yeah, we had some Black Sabbath going on. Yeah, listen, the soundtrack was pretty solid.
So we have now a huge seafaring expedition to Skull Island, and once they make it there, they're going to take the choppers off of what was it, a aircraft carrier that
It
they
was an
were on?
aircraft carrier. Oh, it looked more like an oil derrick. It was
Yeah,
like
it
one of
did.
those oil, not derricks, but one of those oil tankers.
Like the
That just
76 Kong oil tanker
well,
there,
there's a couple
Petrox.
76, even like the slideshow presentation when he's
Yes.
talking about Skull Island and the storm around it. And I'm like, oh, this is like Denham's speech in 76 Kong. Matter of fact, what Billy Randa is wearing is a direct reference to Denham's character in the 33 Kong.
And just like, the 76 Kong, that was a perpetual fog bank that was covering the island. This is a
Yes.
perpetual, like, massive storm system
Right.
that's protecting the island from the
Which is
outside
interesting
world.
because you didn't really see it when the two planes crashed at the beginning of the movie.
Although maybe you assume that that's why they crashed in the first place, is
Well, I
that they
got the
didn't
impression They
survive.
shot each other down.
Yeah.
But either way, right. And that's probably why they were never found.
Yeah. What were there, like 13 choppers that
I counted like 12 at
Okay.
least. Yeah, there was a lot. And at one point, Packard actually says, hold on to your butts. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a Jurassic Park reference.
Yep, yep. And
Yeah.
the director during the commentary was like, I was almost afraid to ask him to say it because I thought he was going to
No.
shoot me down, but he didn't.
He did it. Listen,
Yeah.
I think Samuel L. Jackson's up for anything.
Yeah.
Give him a purple lightsaber. Yeah, I'll play Jedi. Let's go.
You're following in one of the choppers like a Nixon bobblehead that just is bobbling
Yes.
the whole time.
Nixon gets a shout out more than once in this.
And of course, you have to have the songs playing. So one guy brings a reel to reel. So they keep playing those 60 songs throughout as they're
Sure.
flying
Yeah.
through.
Same song again, Bob? Really?
Yeah.
I only got 3 songs on this thing. Yeah. And this is gorgeous when they make it through the storm. And then it's like, oh, Skull Island looks like Cambodia.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, though. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It
when
looks
they
beautiful.
fly out of the storm clouds and they're trailing the cloud mist behind them is a
Yeah,
beautiful
no,
shot.
visually, again, that this guy has nothing else under his belt that he's directed. Like, I'd be
Well,
like,
no, this is not to say that, but Kong Skull Island is the big movie that he's done.
okay, I would immediately hire this guy for something else.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous to look at. And yeah,
But they start to plant the seismic charges, which are explosives that they're dropping from the helicopters.
yeah, these guys are not really qualified to do this, but they're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Now we're geologists.
But almost immediately, I don't know how they're getting a reading back from these things so
Yeah.
fast, but they're saying, oh, I'm right. This is like hollow, this
Yeah,
island.
yeah, they're getting like readbacks. They're just not implanting in the ground and starting to like they explode. So when
And
they
I don't
just
know,
read
did
the
they-
reverberations?
So the hollow earth is established here.
Although I don't, yes, it's referred to because Brooks has mentioned that this was his theory, and this is why he's partnered up with Randa because he wrote this paper that kind of backed up Randa's theory that there's more going on, but they don't talk about it being like portals or anything. Just
And
that
it
there's a
wasn't
hollow ground.
expressed specifically in the 2014 Godzilla, but again, there is that line, well, they feed off the energy from the Earth's core.
Right. That's
So
all you need.
That's all you need there. I don't
A
know if
giant
they
silly straw.
do they talk about Hollow Earth at all in the King of the Monsters because that's all above ground.
That's interesting. I would think they would have. I don't know, because when you get to Godzilla Kong, that's when they actually go in.
Yeah.
What's more confusing is this idea of this Axis Mundi, which doesn't exist in any of these movies, and it almost kind of negates the Hollow Earth theory.
Yeah.
It's like we have a Hollow Earth inside a Hollow Earth. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, just think of it like a train station. It's an extra stop.
So also in if you think about it, in the Monarch show, in the very last episode of season 2, it's established that Randa has been throwing
Right.
these messages in a bottle into all the portal holes to Hollow Earth. So he
Yeah,
already
so
knows that there's a Hollow Earth.
right. But here, and again, it's a retro. It's
Yeah.
retrofitting. Um, we were not meant to go back and rewatch this.
So whatever lingering doubts are in my head, leave immediately as soon as the hand comes up and smashes one of the helicopters.
Well, they get the tree
Yes,
because they
the
come through, and
sphere.
you're like,
Yeah.
and they're just like in awe of what they're seeing, and they're chattering back and forth, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, incoming, and there's just a
Yep.
tree, palm tree, right through the front of the helicopter, and then all hell breaks loose, and this is spectacular.
Yeah, again, because a lot of the action is told
From the point
visually
of
from the
view.
point of view of the people in the
Yeah, so
helicopters.
you're just getting bits and pieces of this giant gorilla. And at one point, the guy's like, "Is that a monkey?" I'm like, "What? Did you grow up reading Curious George? He's a chimp. He's got no tail. It's not a monkey."
And Kong like gets hit by one of the rotors, like slices his arm.
He gets beat up,
So like
which
for the rest
amazes
of the
me.
fight, he
Yeah,
knows he's got to stay away from the rotors.
yeah, yeah. But boy, he takes more than a few of these out. Matter of fact, I think he takes most
He
of them
takes them
out.
all out. Yeah, none of them
Yeah,
are operating after he takes them
except for
out.
the one that landed previously because the guys were already underground. Brooke was already on the ground with the readout computers.
But there's one scene where Kong grabs the back of one of the helicopters and is just swinging it and taking
Yep.
out multiple.
Yeah.
It's
And it's great
fantastic.
because you do get a sense of his scale. And again, because Godzilla was so huge, it's almost like this at least you can get a grasp on. When his face is just filling up the front of the helicopter view screen, and he's not happy.
Hmm.
It's like, what are you doing here?
So he decimates all the helicopters. There's only like a ragtag bunch of people that survive all the crashes.
Like you said, at one point, the guy falls out right into his mouth.
Right into his mouth. Yep.
Yep. Nom, 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 nom.
And then the other guy comes out and goes into the rotors of
He
the.
throws him right into the front of the helicopter, and he just slides up into the propeller.
Kong is like, you can't really blame him. It's like being
No.
attacked by a nest of hornets. So you
Yeah.
fight back.
Yeah. Screw you,
Yeah.
idiot. I'm out here taking a bath. Don't you people knock? Yeah, and Packard's just pissed. He goes full Ahab, like
Yeah. So he's
way
like,
too quick.
I'm not setting foot off of this island until this thing is dead.
Yeah. And at one point when they're kind of regrouping, and that guy was just he's like, we got taken out by a monkey the size of a building. Yeah, that was an unconventional encounter. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You just over there chilling. Whoa, that was weird.
So Packard pulls a gun on Randa, like, okay, what are you not telling me? He's like, I'm from Monarch and we hunt mutos because he uses the term
He
again.
does, yeah.
Yeah. So
So you
Kong
knew
is
that thing was
considered
here.
Kong
Well,
is considered a muto then.
I guess so.
And he gives him a little bit of exposition about the Hollow Earth. I believe that there's passageways under the ground where these things get around.
All right. So maybe he's just holding back. Maybe he's just not going to give this guy all the information. A little
Which is kind of what the
info
Access
overload.
Monday. Access Monday is really the passageway. That's
Right.
not Hollow Earth. Then we get the giant spider attack, which I alluded to earlier.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We
Yeah.
get the water buffalo. So we have two teams. We got Packard and a bunch of the military guys on their own, and then you have Conrad, Weaver, and a couple. So they're separated.
And
Gotta
now they
get
got to
back.
get back to each other.
Gotta get
Yeah. And
back
they
to
got to
each other.
figure out not only get back to each other, but figure out a way to get back to the meeting point, the rendezvous point on the north
Yeah.
side of the island.
North Shore?
Yeah.
You can't get to the North Shore.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we also meet the John C. Riley character, who is the
Hank.
MVP of this movie.
Yes. He is here for exposition and comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because these other characters take themselves way too seriously. So you need some levity. And this guy is like, you're real, right? Right? Because you realize he's been living with these natives who are fantastic. The design on these, and this is a complete and utter waste that we're introduced to these characters. And then in later movies, we get the little girl who is a descendant. But like in this movie, he even talks about the fact that I don't think they age. And yet in the other movies, they're like, yeah, they all died.
Well, no, I think I'd have to go back and look. I think in Godzilla versus Kong, they say that the storms were too much for the native people and that Monarch had to relocate them.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, they just died off camera? Like, from what? Like, encountering these people? They all died from dysentery or
But,
something?
well, now that they're off Skull Island, they're probably going to age normally.
Iwis, right? Iwis? Is that what they?
But fun fact is Brie Larson
I
plays one of them.
did see her. She's the girl at the beginning with the spear.
Yeah.
Hey, I recognize you. So you got the one guy playing Kong. She's playing a. Are we all double dutying on this?
I guess so.
Yeah, we spent all of our money on the giant monkey. We can't afford extras. All right, I'll play 2 or 3 characters.
And so they meet Riley, right? And they're like, you don't know what just happened to us. Oh, there's a lot out there. You don't want to be out there at night.
Yeah, he's so like, dude, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
It's like,
You're a good group of guys to die with. We're all going to die.
such a funny line. He goes, we're all gonna die. We're not. This is not gonna end well. So we find out he's been there for almost 29 years, and he had all these adventures with his Japanese buddy, who is now dead,
Yep.
Gunpei. And again, this is just ripe for a spinoff of these 2 characters.
But it would have to be Riley. You couldn't do it without him. You know, you
That would be
couldn't.
tough.
Yeah.
That would be tough. How could you pull that off? I guess you could make him look younger. Maybe he has a son and you could just pull a Wyatt Kirk
Yeah,
thing.
maybe.
Kurt. I keep calling him Kirk Russell. Kurt. Yeah.
And another great visual is that he shows them the natives have taken like a shipwreck and made it into
Yeah,
a museum.
that was kind of neat. Especially like the graphics where you had to be lined up on the rocks just to be able to see the picture. I'm like, that takes a lot of work.
And so this is where we get the exposition. Oh, that was Kong. He's the last of his kind.
Yeah.
His family was killed by these skull crawlers that come out of the ground, and Kong keeps them under control.
So are we led to believe, based on what we know, that these skull crawlers live in Axis Mundi or in the Hollow Earth? Because we've never seen them in the other movies.
I think we
Am I
did.
wrong?
I think we did see one skull crawler.
Okay.
It could have been in New Empire.
I'm not even
And
gonna go
what's
there.
great is that it's Riley that comes up with the name skull crawlers. I just made it up now. Sounded cool.
Yeah, I've never said it out loud. Now that I say it. But he says that these people, these Iwis, have lived there for thousands of years and they've been scared. And then one day the Kong showed up. It's like, so they weren't always there. And they just took over the island and said, this is now our home and we're going to protect you.
Well, we also knew from being inside Hollow Earth and Kong versus Godzilla that Kong's descendants lived in Hollow Earth. So,
Right.
yeah, they probably came up out of the ground one day.
Yeah. So so Kong is just what they call him. It's not his species name. So each one of those giant gorillas probably had its own name.
Yeah. But yeah, we get introduced to the boat that Riley has made out of
The
the
Great
fuselage
Fox.
from his planes. So this is the way that they're going to get to the north point of the island. Again, you know, homage to Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, right down the river. I can't imagine that 44, I don't know, 30-year-old fuel. Eventually it's going to evaporate, right? Chapman's off by himself. He has the one helicopter that has all of the bombs and all the napalm that they brought with them. Why? Because they just felt they needed some ammunition.
And this is what Sam Jackson wants to get to so he can kill Kong.
Yeah. So they have limited, and this is where we get the scene. Kong's licking his wounds after the helicopter fight. Chapman's watching this. He hides behind a rock, like, dude, that's not gonna save you. This fucking thing can see right over that rock. He doesn't care until he gets
But
attacked by the giant calamari.
yeah, because he's distracted anyway by this octopus, which is breakfast, apparently.
And Chapman's actually pretty lucky because if he stood on that shore long enough before Kong came along, I would assume this squid would have just eaten him.
Yeah.
Anything's there looking to eat you.
And
Like
Kong
you said,
just drags the whole thing away after.
sucking these things up like sushi. Yeah, like calamari. It was great. For a CG creature, he's got a lot going on.
And that was, that scene was
said,
facial captured. I think he was
Yeah.
eating spaghetti during that scene or something.
Right. All right. Now suck it up.
Yeah.
And we get the little tiny pterosaurs, those little ugly looking sawtooth birds.
Yes. Then we also get the great visual of Kong's bloody handprint on the mountain. And then Packer sees that. He's like, oh, I know it can bleed.
So he's implying that it just happened. Like he's like Kong's like walking away from the helicopter fight and he literally put his hand up against the rock to steady himself.
Yeah, because his hands are bleeding because of the rotors.
Yeah. What if it's just paint to mark his territory?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, yep, we can kill it. And we do get that nice little water buffalo scene.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool. So we know that there's all these other creatures.
And there's like
around.
normal deer on the island too.
Yeah, there's which are like just normal size. I mean, the buffalo was huge until you saw it next to Kong, and you're like, oh, this thing's tiny, but it was huge compared to the humans.
Yeah, because Brie Larson's character, like you get introduced to the buffalo, and then a little bit later she sees that there's one that's trapped by a crashed helicopter right outside the native village. So she's trying to help it, and then Kong shows up and lifts the helicopter
trying to
off
lift
of
the
it.
helicopter.
Yeah.
It's like I would have think at this point something would have already eaten him.
So at this point, Kong actually has a moment with her because he knows that
now
she's
we
trying
got
to
this
help his
Kate Titan
ecosystem.
next connection, dude. She's not that into you. Find someone your own species. I guess he can't. He can't.
So this is where we get Bad Moon Rising, right? There's some montage where they play that.
Credence. Yeah.
They actually had enough money for the Creeds. They didn't need the John version. They got the Credence version.
They got that one. I couldn't tell you the difference.
There's that walking stick monster.
Oh, that wood bug. Yeah, he's cool. And Chapman's like shooting at it. It's like,
but that's right before he gets killed by the skull crawler. So that was a shock. It was
where we get Ziggy Stardust? We get that song?
Yeah, at some point you get Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. So you've been following Chapman. They're trying to get to Chapman. He's all by himself. He's watching all these crazy things go on, and then they just kill him. So now we're all trying to get to him. Friggin' Sam Jackson's obsessed with getting to Chapman. No, he's nowhere to be found. He's not there.
There's another great line that Riley has where he tells one of the soldiers, and he whispers to him, I'm going to stab you by the end of the night. And the guy's like, what? Oh, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think this guy's unhinged. During that whole sequence when they're trying to get the Gray Fox up and running, we do get a little Star Wars reference because that is the Millennium Falcon sound effect of it the hyperdrive failing.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. It's like, all right, that's cool.
And there's
throwing a lot of references in this thing.
And I like how the natives like lift the wall on the bottom so the boat can get out.
Yes.
And Riley says goodbye.
But it didn't look like they ever probably left. Let's build a door just in case we ever want to get out of here. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool little visual. Yeah. Jurassic World probably watch this and they're like, because there's that scene where the pterosaurs take the one guy away and they rip him apart. And I'm like, that's literally right out of Jurassic World. Where the girl gets taken by the pterodactyls and torn.
Yeah, that was the annoying guy though, who was always complaining. So you knew he had. So
you're
go
good. You were good with it. That he got eaten.
I was good with him.
Yeah.
Now, I think there were some purposeful tie-ins to Monarch. There's one scene during the helicopter fight where you see a bullet
Oh, roll.
roll and then drop from the
Yes.
helicopter, and they find a bullet
That is the bullet they find.
in Monarch, like an unfired bullet. They take off the ground, and,
You are
I
correct.
only
Yeah.
can assume it's that bullet.
You would think that was also the exact same camera Billy had.
Now they find this Kong graveyard in Monarch, do they not? They find an above ground.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens at
Yeah,
the end of season 2, where they find where Billy was killed, which is this scene. And this is where it's so disappointing that you've now built this character up only to have him die this ridiculous death. Yeah, eaten by a skull crawler.
because it's Keiko finds his camera. He's so apparent. You don't
Yeah,
see him drop
correct.
the camera, but he must have dropped the camera at
Yeah,
some
well, if he
point.
had it on him at some
Unless the
point, it
skull
probably just
crawler
puked it up.
vomited it up with his bones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was pretty grisly when it puked up Chapman's skull.
No, it must have taken the camera because then you see the
Oh,
flash.
he's flashing. He's flashing
Yeah.
inside it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, this is Jurassic Park with the damn Spinosaur that had the phone inside it. What I will tell you is the scene in there when all hell breaks loose and the guy's got the mounted camera cannon up on top of the Triceratops skull. I'm like, that's cool. And you can actually go visit that. That skull. So a lot of these sequences were filmed in Hawaii, in Kauai. They filmed Jurassic Park there. They filmed parts of this, so you can go and see like the Kong skull and the Triceratops skull. When I was in Maui, I wanted to go, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't get there from here."
Aw.
Like, I can't just take a little side plane and jump from one island to the next. Nope, can't do that. Then what's the point? Yeah, I was very disappointed. That was high on my list.
So we have two climaxes really here. Packard makes it to all the munitions that he wanted to get to kill Kong. So Kong has to fight Packard, and then he's got to fight the King Skullcrawler afterwards.
Yeah,
And Packard almost gets him. He napalms him pretty good.
he lured him right in.
Yeah.
Man, Kong was like, jerk.
Because Brie Larson was distracting him. They're touching
Yeah.
his nose and all that.
I know. Again, this Kong he's smitten with women, human
Yeah.
women, man. I don't know what it is, but I want to go back to that scene, that fight sequence in the boneyard when the skull crawlers are coming out and the pterosaurs are flying around, and you've got this green gas. Friggin' Loki himself is running around with a gas mask on, wielding a samurai sword, just slicing up these little tiny pterosaurs. And I'm like, this is like the height of entertainment right here.
Yeah.
This is epic. It's so it borders on almost like a video game. But yeah, go back to this Packard Kong standoff. And he just lights that whole pond on fire. And so what does Kong do? He just splashes the water onto the guys. Oh, it's
Yeah.
fire water. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it. Jerks.
But the soldiers finally have enough. They're like, Packard, we're not down with this anymore. So
It took them this long?
yeah.
I'd be like, dude, you got a problem.
They burn Kong up with the napalm, and just at that moment is when the King Skullcrawler comes up. So he's already at a disadvantage now fighting this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, he's pretty beat up.
And the one guy gets thwacked with the tail, and he like goes flying into the mountain.
Oh, because he stays behind. He's like, I'm gonna save you guys. I got these two bombs right here. I'm just gonna wait for this thing to come and blow it up. And it just whacks him against the mountainside and he blows
Yeah.
up. Waste. Absolute waste. It's like, well, that didn't work very well. But yeah, Kong smushes Packard, steps on him.
Yeah.
Oh no, he
Just
pounds
like,
on him.
just like Charles Grodin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta put up with these humans for so long.
I don't know, how old this thing was, but Kong gets tied up in chains like that are in the water. So the
Yes.
skull crawler's all over him, and then Kong breaks out, and he's got like a swinging wrecking ball with the rotor.
Oh, with the
from,
propeller on the end
Yeah.
of it. This is killer. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. When somebody came up with this and they're like, here's an idea. What if he uses these chains with giant propeller? Let's do it. Let's go. Oh, and you just hacking this thing up with these.
And if you look
Oh.
closely, they're designed like killer whales, where it looks like they've got these big white
Yes, yeah,
sockets
their
as
eyes are on the
eyes,
back end.
but their eyes are tiny right
Yep.
behind it.
Yeah, it does. It there's a bit of a xenomorph feel to it.
Yeah, there is. There definitely
So, but
is.
you're right. It's a little tiny eyes in the back, and it's like these big open ports that 10 feet away, they look, like giant eyeballs.
And it looks like a skull. It looks like
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
the skull crawler looks like it's eating Kong's arm off, but it's not
Oh, he
really. Kong is just
just,
doing that so he can get inside there and pull
well,
its
no, he
guts
saw that he
out.
had Brie Larson in his hand, did he
Oh, that's
not?
right. That's
He
right.
had
He
her,
did.
yeah, she's like in its gullet. She's like, oh man.
So
And
what
she
did he
she
like?
falls
Just
off.
he just opened a pinky to hook onto something in there, and
Maybe,
then
I don't
yeah,
know. He takes that whole tongue out. He finally just guts it, eviscerates it from the mouth out. It was pretty brutal.
yeah.
And the sunrise is coming up. We tell Brooke, listen, if we're not back, take the ship, get out of here. Of course, they show it up on the beach line. They're like, oh, crap, he left. He did what we told him to do. He left.
Hmm.
But no, he comes back and he starts shooting at the skull crawler as it's attacking Kong. What are you doing that for? Just let them fight it out and you escape. What are you doing? Now you're just drawing attention to yourself.
But they make it off the island, the survivors. So everybody that you're invested in pretty much makes it off the island.
Yes.
And then over the closing credits, you get Riley's character, John C. Riley, going back home.
Did the
To
military never inform her that he was still alive? Did he just get off the boat and go home? He never went back to the
You would
military?
assume that they
Because she
did.
seems shocked he
She
was
does
there.
seem shocked.
What if she had remarried?
The last shot of him putting his feet up and watching the game, and then you see the husband, like, when is he leaving?
Right, exactly. And get your feet off my coffee table. The hell kind of manners did you develop over there on that island?
Get a
So you want
job.
to tell me about your adventures? No, I want the game's on, honey. The game's on. Can you give me a beer and a hot dog?
And kid,
Very
mow the lawn.
bittersweet.
It's a little bit. It's getting a little bit out of control.
Right, correct. You're my son, really? Yes. So he does make it home, and that is kind of bittersweet, even though you're like, wait a minute. But then we get the big reveal, which apparently Monarch just like to tell everyone anything. They're like, oh, these two guys survived. All right, we can tell them their story.
So you get the impression that now these two work for Monarch, but you never
Yes.
see him or hear of him again.
No, and this is a disappointment that you don't see or even hear their names again. Even if they just mention them in one of the something. Oh yeah, they're on assignment over in Indonesia. Oh, cool. They're still part of this group. What you just saw was the tip of the iceberg, man. There's a lot more going on. Oh,
And
great.
cut to black with the Godzilla roar.
Yes. This
Mm.
was a nominee for Best Oscar visual effects in 2018. Lost to Blade Runner 2049. Did you see this? Michael Keaton and J.K. Simmons were both originally attached and had to drop out due to scheduling
To
conflicts.
play who? Packard?
I would assume Keaton would have played Hiddleston's role.
Or maybe
Sam Jackson.
maybe John C. Riley's role.
Oh, that's interesting. Imagine if it
Yeah.
was just Beetlejuice on the island.
He's grabbing his crotch. Hey!
Nice fucking island. I don't know. I think this is almost perfect. This is popcorn entertainment at its finest.
What I didn't like about it was the recurring Dear Billy thing. I just thought that was kind of stupid. I thought that, okay, once or twice is enough. You don't have
I
to
know,
keep
and
doing
that
it
is
through
confusing. That is confusing, right? Because you got Bill Randa, who is referred to as Billy in the TV show.
But what they're doing is
Wait, that was Ford's son.
no,
That was that was Godzilla.
it was
Oh, no, it was
Kibble's
here.
son because
Kibble,
Kibble
okay.
who died,
Yeah,
Kibble's
yeah.
character who dies,
Kibble.
so he's left.
Yes,
The
he's
Billy
left
is
him
left
with-
fatherless. He is writing a letter to his son Billy, so
Dearest
they're
Billy.
making
You
fun
are
of him
correct.
throughout the
Sorry.
movie.
You are correct.
Like, Dear Billy,
Yeah.
do you know monsters are real? Dear
Right.
Billy, do you know there's a giant gorilla? I would have liked one of them to have said, Dear Billy, you ever been to a Vietnamese brothel?
So, Billy, ever been to a Turkish prison?
You ever seen a grown man naked, Billy?
Oh, shit. It's good stuff.
You know what I loved? I didn't mention before is when the helicopters first break the storm cloud and you see a dragonfly mixed in
Oh, yes.
point
Yeah.
of view, so it looks
Yeah.
like it's one of the helicopters.
Yes. Yeah, again, visually, this is stunning. I think the cinematography, the pacing on this, the casting, everything is just this is Saturday afternoon joy. Just curl up on the couch and put this movie on.
So satisfying. And it was, I saw this in the theater. I'm sure you did too, right?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Thought it was fantastic. Then
Yep.
it's just sad that they couldn't continue, especially as you said, that John C. Riley is, you just want to see more of him.
Yeah. Maybe someone will smarten up and try and flesh out those characters. Even if they told them, listen, we just talked about the fact that there's this MonsterVerse comic series. You could easily do stories about those two characters back in the day.
And this did even better at the box office than Godzilla 2014. With a $185 million budget, it made $568 million worldwide. So again, worldwide hit here. So this gave them the green light to go ahead with King of the Monsters. And thankfully, because King of the Monsters, much maligned, I still don't
I
understand
don't,
why.
yeah, our episode was tainted with people poo-pooing it.
That didn't do as well at the box office, but by that time, thankfully, they were already invested in getting to Godzilla versus Kong.
I think to the broader audience, Kong is a more relatable character.
Yeah.
I think he's more popular. Godzilla, especially in these series, he's more portrayed as like this force of nature kind of a thing, where Kong emotes. He's got personality. He can interact with the humans. So,
Yeah. And Godzilla versus Kong rejuvenated the box office of this series, but it still didn't do as well as Kong Skull Island did, probably because it came out like right at the tail end of COVID and not a lot of people were going to the
yeah.
theaters again. But so for a long time, this held the box office record of the MonsterVerse
Yeah.
until New Empire eclipsed it. So
Gotcha.
New Empire is thankfully the most successful of
Hmm.
all the MonsterVerse, which means that they can keep making them.
That's because people just paid money to see Kong ride on the back of a giant dragon. They're like, look, Mom, I trained my dragon. Yeah. Well, let's see if that carries through with Supernova.
Yeah, hopefully it does.
Yeah. Well, two of us will be there.
Absolutely. I will be
I
there.
know my son and his friends are going.
Not so much merchandise came out around Kong Skull Island as it would in the later movies, but there was an exclusive deal with toys to be sold through Walmart, and I have most of them, thankfully.
I see the Kong sitting right over your left shoulder.
Yeah, so that's about
I
as
see
big
him.
as the Godzilla with the fist.
Oh, he is that big. Okay.
He is about that big. And they also have some smaller sets with the human characters as action figures,
So you can step on him?
coupled along with like the spider, the smaller skull
Oh, that's
crawler,
cool.
and the bird. So there's three different other
Oh,
sets besides the
interesting.
Kong
You
you
don't
see
get
behind
the
me.
wooden bug, the wood
Nope.
bug,
You don't get the bug. No,
the
you never got
log,
the bug.
the lumbering log bug.
Nope.
It was
And
kind
there's,
of
I
cool.
think there's a Jeep that comes with one of them. There's a boat that comes with another one.
Okay.
You get Packard, you get Chapman, and a few of the other Army guys in the sets too.
Packard. I'm going rogue. Okay. We're not following you. Imagine that plane. Okay.
The Hollywood Reporter says the time just flies by, which can rarely be said for films of this nature. Well, that seems like a backhanded compliment, but
It does seem a little backhanded.
yeah. The New Yorker, a pop culture apocalypse now with the gonzo elements jacked up. So yeah. So yeah, they were pretty
Gonzo.
much all on board with this thing as we were. So what kind of buckets would we give out of five
I'm
to
about as close to a 5 bucket as I'm going to get. 4 3/4.
4 3/4? Wow.
Finish
I'm going to
your
go
thought.
4 1/4 on
Okay.
this one.
I can't think of a single thing that you could change that would make it better.
Well, I just still like King of the Monsters, the best out of all these
Well, that's
movies.
just straight up monster action.
Yeah.
This at least has a yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just very entertaining. Like you said, every dollar's up there on screen.
And I
So
really do love this iteration and design of Kong.
yeah, yeah. And then subsequent movies, we found out, oh yeah, by the way, he grew. He's even bigger now.
He's
Yeah,
just an adolescent. He's still
yeah.
growing.
He's still growing. Maybe one day we'll actually find out what happened to the rest of his family.
So yeah, as you said, it's kind of a sad day that now we're going to have to wait until 2027 to talk again about the MonsterVerse, since we've covered it all
We have, but that doesn't mean we're not going to cover some monsters come Thanksgiving.
come Thanksgiving. Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
have to start
And we're
planning
halfway
that one
there. We're
now.
halfway
We're
there,
halfway
maybe.
there. Yep, going back to
Yeah.
the Showa era, maybe, to pull out one of the old
Ooh.
classics again.
All right.
We'll see.
You got me. I'm in.
But before then, the next time we do a new episode, we are going to be going to the Star Wars universe.
This is a long time coming. The advertising and the promotion for this is off the charts right now.
Yeah, and they've
It's
started
too
with the
much.
trailers and the teaser
Oh, now
posters
we got
months
the
and months.
taco. Now we got the Taco Bell tie-in dinner, the Grogu taco meal. I don't know.
There's Bath and Body Works soap lines. There's one scent called Bounty Hunter, which I have no idea what it smells like, but
Is that true?
it's true.
I thought you were just making that up.
No, I
Bounty
wasn't.
Hunter. Oh.
The fizzy bath thing that you throw into your bath and it
Oh yeah,
fizzes.
the balls, yeah.
The bath ball. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns into Jabba. We do get I believe that we are getting a connection tie-in to the Clone Wars animated movie that came out before the TV series, in which Ahsoka was carrying around a little baby Jabba the Hutt. The little baby, he grows up. He's the big one that I think that Mando fights.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to just sit in the theater and just take it in. I want
Yeah.
to be entertained. These guys have done no wrong with this Mandalorian series, so
But
very excited.
along with it, thematically, we tried to stay close. So we are covering Raising Arizona.
This is actually a pretty funny connection. Actually, I was thinking that later, I was like, oh, Adventures in Babysitting would have been funny too. But yes, Raising Arizona.
So this allows us to go back into the Gonzo world of Nicolas Cage. Just in a few days from now, dropping the Spider Noir series on
Oh
Prime.
man. When does that drop? I
The
forgot.
27th. I think it's in 10 days from this day of
Holy
recording.
Hannah. Oh, good. I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
And I believe you can watch it in black and white or in color.
Yes, you have the choice. You have the choice.
I'm excited. So, but
All
yeah,
right.
Mandalorian and Grogu. Don't call him Baby Yoda. You don't like that name anymore.
No, he don't.
You don't even know what a Yoda is.
I'm not a baby.
Not the mama. Mid-year Monster Fest.
Yes. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for
Yes.
listening.
Cool. All right. Well, that's always fun. Dear Billy. Dear Billy. Mom, I never heard from Dad again. Yeah, I heard he was eaten by a monster.
Yeah, who
Sorry.
gets to write that Dear Billy letter?
Yeah, dear Billy, your daddy's gone. Sorry.
On that note,
All right. Thanks for
bye,
listening.
everybody.
Bye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand. What if she had remarried?
The last shot of him putting his feet up and watching the game, and then you see the husband like, when is he leaving?
Right, exactly. And get your feet off my coffee table.